Hello, amazing CEIS 298 scholars. This is Professor K here, and I wanted to give you a little bit more information on the DeVry Desktop. As I mentioned in my introductory video, this term in this class, you're going to need to use Microsoft Project. And in order to complete 3 projects, week 3, week 5, and week 7. In the past, students had to either try to download Microsoft Project or use a Citrix server to connect to the DeVry servers and then run Microsoft Project there. Well, starting in this term, you're no longer going to have to do that. DeVry has what's called the DeVry Desktop, and you'll see it located right here. It's the 4th item underneath Home. When you log in to Canvas, you should see the link for DeVry Desktop. So with this desktop, you're not going to have to download any software, and you will have access to all the Microsoft Office products. You can submit assignments from there. You can do all the things that you normally do from your own computer, you can do from the DeVry Desktop. The 2 things that do not work from the DeVry Desktop is there is no camera or audio recording functionality. So you still have to use, if you're using Kaltura or any other like Microsoft Project and Microsoft PowerPoint, and you want to record a video and audio, you have to use it on your own computer. But for everything else, you should be able to use the DeVry Desktop. Now, it's very similar in some of its aspects as the Citrix server connection was, but let me start at the basics to include those people that have not used the Citrix connection and are not familiar with using a remote desktop. We'll start out ground zero and then we'll work up from there. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the DeVry Desktop link in Canvas, and basically it's going to take your login credentials and pass them to the DeVry server, and it's going to log you into a Windows server, so you will see an actual Windows desktop. So let's hold on a second. Let's let it connect. As you can see, it's logging in. It's got my credentials. It knows me. Now, the first time you do this, you may have to actually pass your username and password. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while that I used this, so it already knows me. But in the case it doesn't, you may have to use your login credentials for the DeVry Canvas and get you to this point. So this is a Microsoft Windows desktop that you're looking at right now. You can see it in a tab within Chrome. So I can still pop back over to Chrome and use other tabs. I can use other functionality on my computer, and it does not interact with or impede the use of the Microsoft desktop. Okay, so for the CEIS 298 class, we want to use Project, right? So we can click over here, and we know it's going to be in, and as you can see, you've got, you can get to Visual Studio if you're doing programming. You can get to all of the Microsoft applications. Here you've got Microsoft Visio, you've got Microsoft Project, which we're going to be using. You have all the Microsoft Office tools, but let's go into Microsoft Project, and there is Microsoft Project. So just clicking on it, you're now running Microsoft Project on the DeVry server in this tab. Okay, so we're gonna start with a blank project. Okay, and you can do all the things that you would need to do for these projects for this term in Microsoft Project right here. So I'm gonna just do something simple, and we're gonna create our first task. Okay, that's all we need to do, and now I'm gonna save it. Okay, so you've got this this toolbar here is for you to interact with the Microsoft desktop. Okay, this, if you click here, this is your Microsoft Project toolbar. Okay, so I want to save this. And where do I want to save it? So if I choose OneDrive, it's going to choose OneDrive that I use for all my files. If I'm going to choose this PC, it's going to save it right here. So let's just choose this PC, and I want to save it in the documents on this PC. You can see there's nothing here, and this is my first project. So just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to call this Week 3 Project. Okay, and I'm going to save it. Okay, now I'm going to exit out of here. So I'm going to close. I can close the application Microsoft Project just like I would do in any other Microsoft or Windows application. I'm closing this. Okay, I'm back to my Microsoft desktop. You can if you happen to be using Windows, I'm using a Mac, but if you're using Windows, it may seem, you may get confused where you are. Just look up top and look. You'll see you're using a tab, and the tab is connected to the DeVry Desktop. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, well, I want to. There is no power options, right? What it allows you to do, it allows you to sign out. Okay, so I'm going to sign out. I'm done with my, doing the work in my, see, it says it's been disconnected. So I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to come back over here now. So I did my work for the day in my Microsoft Project file, and now I'm going to come back to it. So I click on DeVry Desktop, and of course it's going to take the same amount of time to log me in. It's passing all the credentials to the servers at DeVry. It will establish a connection. It will pass your credentials, and then it'll log you into the server, and it'll recreate your desktop on the DeVry server. So give it a second. It's going through that. And there we are. So now we're going to go back, and we're going to want to, here we go. We're going to want to go back down to Microsoft Project. And we're going to run project. Okay. As you can see, right down here is my recent file. So it's saved. It knows your credentials, so it recreates or restarts the same desktop that you're using before. So it knows where your files are saved. Just click on that. I'm right back to where I left off, my first task. Okay. For this class, week 3, week 5, and week 7 projects all build on themselves. So my suggestion is you save it, calling it week 3. When you open it again, you're going to want to do a file, save as, and then you're going to save it as this PC in DeVry Documents, the same place you put it, but now you're going to call it week 5. And then you'll have your week 5, and then you'll do your week 7. Again, you'll be able to do all of the things that you normally do here. Now, in the lab, you're going to see that it's going to ask you to take screenshots, and it's going to ask you to put them in Microsoft PowerPoint. So what you can do is you're going to, in your class, you're going to see the template files for Microsoft Project. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so here's the Module 3 document and the guide. Here's the template for Module 3. So what you can do is you could download this. Okay, remember I said on the on the DeVry Desktop, you've got access to PowerPoint. Okay, here is the template that was created for you to use to populate, to submit your project for week 3. It's the project template for module 3, which is the project template for week 3. So you can have this running on your computer, or you can upload the file here, and here's where you would upload a file. You can upload it and run Microsoft PowerPoint on the server as well. So you can choose wherever you want to run it. Let's say we're going to run this on my computer, okay? So I'm down here and I'm going to download this file. Okay, this is the template that you'll use to populate, and for module 3 it asks you to put, your student name. Please don't forget to put your name on each of the first slides for each of the projects. It gives you the rubric for what you are going to be graded on. Each one is 5 points. You need to submit a screenshot of step 2, step 5, step 6, step 8, and then you're going to answer a question. Well, for each of the screenshots, it wants you to put the screenshot here, right? So I'm going to download this, so I've got it on my computer. Okay, just like any other file, it's been downloaded here, right? So I'm going to show this in Finder. Again, I'm using a Mac, and it shows it in Finder. I'm going to bring this over so you can see it. There's Finder, and there's my CEIS 298 project template, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to to the DeVry Desktop, and I want to upload a file. So I click on Upload, and here I'm in my downloads. I'm going to upload this template file. Okay, so now if I come over here, so there it is. It's been uploaded. This is a notification from the server. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to come over here, right? And I'm going to go to, I come over here and go to Files. Okay. And there you can see my week 3 Microsoft project template file, right? I can open that by double clicking on it. Sorry, I even got myself confused. I don't want the Microsoft project file. I want the template that I uploaded, okay? So let's go to, did I put it on the desktop? There it is. See, today I uploaded it. When I uploaded it to the desktop. So I'm going to double click on this, and now I'm running I'm running Microsoft PowerPoint on the server. I'm using very, very little processing power on my desktop. I'm doing this all on the server. So now, if we want to switch back over here, right? So here I've got PowerPoint and I got project. So I go to PowerPoint. Sorry, I go to project, and it says I need to do a screenshot from Microsoft project and put it in my PowerPoint. I can do all of this on the desktop server. So I'm going to do a screen grab. You'll see it. I can do a screen grab, and I can copy. I'm going to take this section of the project file, and I'm going to come over here to PowerPoint, and here it goes. Here's my first place where I need to include a picture. So I can just come over here and do a paste, and I can paste the picture right in. Hang on. There's my... let's go down here. I think I inadvertently deleted the frame. So I'm going to paste my picture in. from over here, just to back up a second. So I'm in my week 3 project file, and I want to be able to take a screenshot here. So I can use my screen grab function, and I can come up here and I can just say, okay, I want to get this portion, whatever the template is asking us to grab. I've got that, and now I can pop over here to my presentation, okay, wherever it might be, and I can do a paste, and I'm pasting it directly into my presentation. So I don't have to do anything outside of the Microsoft desktop that's running on the DeVry server. Okay, so that's one option. So again, you use the DeVry desktop. I've got my, down here, I've got my PowerPoint application running, and I have multiple PowerPoints open. Over here, I have my Microsoft project, and so I can get to the project files that I need to, and I can copy and paste things back and forth. The problem I ran into is, again, I told you I'm using a Mac computer, right? So the keyboard commands on a Mac computer are obviously different than that on a Windows. And I was trying to copy and paste using the Mac keyboard control. And you have to remember, when you're running the DeVry desktop, you're running Windows. So you need to use all Windows controls. So I should have been doing a Control-C and a Control-V for copy and paste. I was using a Command-C and a Command-V for copy and paste, and that's what was getting it all messed up. But again, if I save this, right, it's saving it to the same location I had, okay, and I can put it right on the desktop, okay, and save it so that when I come over to my desktop, let's see, I don't think it put it in documents. No, it did not. So I need to navigate to the PC and my desktop. And there you'll see my presentation that I just saved at 10:52 p.m. tonight. So remember, you're working on the desktop. So when you're saving your files, you're saving them on the desktop. So later on, if you think, okay, I want to get to my PowerPoint presentation, you're going to have to log back into the DeVry desktop. If you want it to be on your local computer, then you would switch over to your PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and this is the one that I actually put the picture in, right? And here you would be using the download function to select the file you want to download and where you're putting it. So select file to download. I want to download my presentation file, okay? So I can choose whichever one I wanted to, hit download, and you're going to see, for me, it's downloading it to my computer here, which if I show you in Finder, it's sitting right there. Okay, so now this is on my computer. If I choose to not download it and I choose to just work with it here, let me close this. Okay, and let me close this one. And I don't want to save. Okay, and now I'm going back to, and here's my PowerPoint, and you can see right here, I've got my location of my files. Okay, so just be aware of whether, if you're not using the download or the upload function, then you're working 100% in your DeVry desktop, and you can do all of your functionality there. You can do your working in PowerPoint. You can work in Microsoft Project. You can also work in Word, Excel, any other application you want to. Just know that your files are being stored on the server. So the downside to that is you must have internet connectivity in order to get to those applications and to those files. So if you're going to be working remote, you're not going to have internet access, or there's a chance you might not have internet access because of a power outage or storms in your area or anything like that, you want to make sure you always download your files to your local computer. And then when you're able to get internet access again and you access the DeVry Desktop, you just upload your recent file and you'll be fine. All right, so if you have any questions, any problems, don't hesitate to reach out to me. We'll be going over this again a little bit more in our week 1 live lesson. And of course, week 3 lesson, we'll be going over it as well as we go through the project itself. I hope this helps. It's a much more stable environment than the Citrix environment was. And again, you do not have to install anything on your local computer.